Merry meet. Now I'm going to have a reading for, let's see, Sagittarius. So let's see what's in store for the month of November. And it's sun, moon, and rising. So let's see what Sagittarius needs to know for the month of November 2024. It's soon Christmas, everybody. Are you looking forward to Christmas? Or are you hating Christmas? There's many of those too, you know. I don't like it because they are alone, or if they are missing someone. I lost my father last year, and the first Christmas without my father was very difficult. And it's very difficult too because, you know, he should have been there, and because of, you know, that you will never have this celebration with the lost one, you know. But I felt him there, and I of course did a reading and talked to him with my rods, you know, before. So it's almost like a spiritual hug, you know, speaking with them and knowing that they are, even though you can't see them, knowing that they are there. There's so much comfort, you know. And yeah, it's not easy. And it's not easy for those who don't have a family or have lost contact with family, you know. It's very difficult. And there's a lot of opportunities to people that are alone at Christmas. Remember that there are organizations and people that are helping people like that, you know. Many people can't afford a celebration, can't afford buying gifts or anything. Now spirit is present. And I hope everybody have a warm and not so stressful Christmas celebration, and the time prior leading up to Christmas is, to me at least, the most stressing one, because you have to go out and buy gifts, and you know, that's not easy. So for everybody, I hate going at the mall. There was a card jumping out. Okay. It was the 9 of Swords. Are you struggling? Sags. I shorten it a little bit. Sags. That's the nickname for Sagittarius, isn't it? Are you going through a difficult time? Or at least having loss of sleep and sleepless nights. Maybe having nightmares, and you know. And remember, this is the sun, moon, and rising. And if you are here, like many of you are, please click the like button. You know, that helps the algorithm, and it helps my channel, and it gives me the boost to doing this, you know. I'm doing this for totally free and out of my own time. And that's a big step to support someone. Even if you have someone that has a little small business or just selling candles or crystals, or just putting that little like button, that helps a lot. That's a support, that is you supporting your local witch or candle maker. you know Thank you for those of you who always are so kind and faithful and are supporting me doing this. It's my job, and when you click by and watch this, it takes 2 seconds to click that like button. Of course, it's not much I'm asking for. I deeply appreciate it. Thanks in advance. Let's see, Sagittarius, what's in store for you for the month of November? So let's see. Sag for the month of November. Whoops. The candles. November. What a sign for November. The one that turned. Okay. Okay. Wow. Wow. There's a lot of new beginnings for many of you Sags out there. I see that many of you have maybe seen karma in action the last month or in the early past, as I always say. It's I feel like many of you have been using your big voice to tell people to stop when they are crossing the line with you, And when they are trying to fool you, maybe you have been a little bit naive before, but now you are finally speaking up a little bit, you know. I feel like many of you have been gaining strength to speak your mind and think more clearly than you did before. And that's a very good thing, Sagittarius. And be reminded that, but when you speak your mind, that you can be a little harsh, because your rule is Jupiter, and you know, Jupiter is the elephant in a glass house and in a glass door or whatever, but they are a tendency to go big or go home. And that is in many areas of their life. So be careful when you are using your strength, because I see this clarity coming up for many of you, where you gain strength and speak your mind and do the things that you're feeling. And this is your time, because you have been putting up with bullshit for so long, and you are trying to be kind, or you feel like don't speaking your mind. I know many of you do too, but maybe you have, if you already have the gift of speaking your mind, maybe you are doing it too much. Do you know what I mean? If you are not a Sagittarius that is struggling with speaking your mind and have finally reached that point in your life that you must be careful of overdoing it, that maybe you have been having a quiet time and thinking that you have maybe softened up a little bit, you know. But for those of you that has been a little bit naive and have been especially rising and moon, you know, if you are Sagittarius rising or Sagittarius moons, this will be a good time for you, where you have been thinking clearly and speaking your mind and not taking the bullshit, you know, from people. And I feel like many of you have been going through um, a mental change. And maybe, as I said earlier, been finding ways, new ways of thinking and doing things and speaking. That is very precise. You know, that's the new beginning for the Sags, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And I love that. I love people when they speak their mind and not taking bullshit. That's superb. Because you know, when you are swallowing all of those camels and turning the cheek all the time, not to steer the boat or not to get in trouble, or making starting trouble, should I say. That's beautiful, you know, and it's a good thing. And I feel like many of you are starting, maybe some of you are maybe you have a lot of success on the non-emotional level, if I can say it like that, because the swords are just using their mind and brain and not the emotions so much. Maybe you are in a relationship. Maybe you are this November very, maybe you are in love with someone, or someone around you are in love, or you are in a relationship. Maybe there is where you speak your mind. If you are in a situation where your parents or your children or your sister or brother or whatever are in a bad relationship, that you finally speak your mind. Because the theme for November for many of you, and especially there is someone, the spirits wants, the ones that are in a relationship, they want you to know that this reading is especially for you. For those Sags, Sun, Moon and Risings that are in a relationship or a partnership with someone emotionally. Maybe some of you will fall in love in November or have just met someone. There is some clearly from this speaking your mind, you are having this new start. And that's quite comforting to know that this is meant to be. This new start for you, whether from you speaking your mind and thinking more clearly and see things from new perspectives and so on, that makes you have an all-over start. Maybe some of you even, because you are making the right choice and saying the right words and doing the right actions, maybe you can be winning in lotto also, you know. You might be having a little raise on your job or a little more money. But I feel for most of you that this is talking mostly about the new beginnings, and that's very important now in November for you, Sags. There are something new, something fresh and necessary. I feel like many of you have had an awakening, you know, like, and that is what you're hoping for. Maybe you have put some new ideas into the relationship or into your life if you are single, and that you are hoping for this resurrection to something better. And I feel like that's the problem, that you probably are very intuitive. I feel like other women, so if you're a Sag man, maybe women are not very supportive this month, or maybe a woman is going behind yourself, or maybe you are awakened spiritually and that you feel like it's negative, because I feel like secrets might come up this month. And especially women around you, whether you are a boy or a girl, man or a woman, this month will reveal some secrets that's quite astonishing. And I see that many of you are in a change in your life. You have a great wake-up call. And you will finally see the truth that there are something better at hand. And this is a new start for you, Sags. Maybe a witch or someone spiritual might be in the way or causing troubles for you. Maybe someone are trying to put spells on you, Sagittarius. But mostly, for most of you, I feel like you are very frightened of your of going too deep when it comes to the spiritual. And you should be careful about not using your intuition and and when you get this hunch, you know, when something is wrong with a person or someone, you should trust that your intuition says. And as I said, there will be a lot of secrets that is showing itself there. You're watching these changes in yourself and around you. Maybe you, if you are a man, you're very frightened to look at these sides of you, this this intuition. You're afraid of listening to it. Maybe you are psychic, or maybe you are clairvoyant, or clear-heared, or whatever it is in English, that you, especially if you are a man, that you are afraid of trusting your intuition. And there's a warning about that this month, because you are thinking clearly and you logic and everything. Yes, that's very good, but you have to listen to your intuition also, sex. And that goes for all of you, sun, moon, and rising, and woman as man. And especially your intuition when it comes to relationships. Ooh. Okay. Okay. I feel like many of you are waiting, have been hurt. Maybe some of you are sick this month. Maybe some of you are feeling like you don't have the energy to do things. That you feel like your day or your 24 hours each day is taking all you have, every gram of energy that you have. You are maybe lacking energy this month, even though you're thinking clearly. Maybe that's why you think clearly. Maybe that's why you're having this new start, because you are too tired to and fed up to take shit and bullshit from anyone, you know. And that is very understandable, you know. Oh, I'm a little dry mouthed. I feel like many of you um, are struggling with your intuition and wisdom, and maybe you are lacking a little bit of empathy, or you have too much empathy in November. And maybe you lack a little bit of understanding, because you know you have to, even though you are doing all of this, you have to listen to your intuition and use your empathy when you are speaking your words, sex, and understanding. And for some of you, I feel like there might be a woman that is just waiting to mess things up in a situation or a relationship or something like that. Because this woman can be patient, waiting for revenge also. And I feel like many of you Sags should remember this month in November that you don't need to intervene once when things don't go according to your will, because you must remember and know that everything happens in cycles, you know, and the bad things, they will pass and the good things will come again, and vice versa, you know. And maybe many of you have problems to sit still and take it easy this month, that you are, maybe some of you are very restless. And you should maybe sit still and watch change with compassion and serenity this month. And if you have problems to devote yourself to others or to your feelings or your inner voice, Sags, this month in November might be, as I said earlier, that you're struggling to listen to your intuition. And especially if you are a man, it can be sometimes maybe you are very scared to be feminine or believe in something because you don't think it's manly enough. And when you are a man and you think that big boys don't cry, or maybe you are scared of your own feminine sides because you think that men should only be masculine, but that's very wrong, Sax, because men have feminine sides, and if they deny their feminine sides, they're causing a lot of stagnation, troubles, and chaos around themselves, yourself, if you are the one doing that. And in November, you should become one with yourself and your inner feelings, your inner voice. And instead of touching the world with just words, touch the world with the intuition and your inner voice too, not just your verbal high choice, you know, of speaking words. As I said, be careful if you already have the gift of telling people when things are wrong, that you might adjust it a little bit more soft, you know, a little more conscious and empathic. I feel like many of you might even have problems with depression this month, or even manipulation, or someone around you is manipulative. Sagittarius, that goes for both women, especially if you are in a relationship, you might be manipulated. And I feel like there are something sad here. I don't know. And I can't help but look at this card and think that it is about relationship, you know, and a partnership, a connection with another person that is making you, maybe you are manipulated by your woman or your man, your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your husband or your wife. And you should be looking out for that in the month of November. And yeah, as I said, it's there is truly the time to listen to your intuition, not trust every woman. That goes for both men and women. And be careful about people that you are emotionally connected to, especially relationships and partnerships, that you be careful about being manipulated. I see now, Sags. When it comes to other people, you got the same Cancer also got this card. And when it comes to help around you and support around you and how other people are being to you in November, you know, other people, how they are looking to you in a way that help or support or something like that. And that's to me one of the most beautiful cards in this deck, and it symbolizes becoming one with someone, and both in the sense of integration of all the aspects of the personality and in a sense of oneness with the cosmos, you know. The tree of life is here, and the moon, you know, the cycles and the roots, and there is a new moon down there that the tree is grabbing. And as I said, it's both in the sense of integration of all the aspects of the personality. And it might be even in the sense of oneness with the cosmos. And some maybe other people are helping you to reach this and listen carefully to your intuition, you know, and help sort these things out. Maybe there is someone around you that is helping you believe in your gifts or clairvoyance, or making you, helping you with this woman that is manipulating, or it can be a man too, because of course, but I will especially say women. And with the cosmos, it's very complicated thing, many things, but it's not. We are already a part of cosmos, and the experience of enlightenment, you know, the nirvana, God, maybe someone is making you finally believe in something like that, you know, showing you that what the cosmos has to give to you. Maybe you are even trying to reach out to people that are clairvoyant and so on, and maybe you take a course, and you know that you are getting a lot of help, maybe from someone that is quite enlightened and that has reached the nirvana already, and God, you know. And other people see you oh, other people see you this month as someone that is finding your place in the world, and other people see that you have this have taken action, speaking your mind, this new beginnings of yours. The world see it, Sags. and that you are in a place now that you are waking up and finding uh, your place in a spiritual home, you know. And it seems to me that other people are seeing or helping you with the arrival with which you are not soon bored and driven to leave again, that you are reaching your destination, your termination. Maybe you even are taking a trip or a move to somewhere else, and that will be your last place because you will finally the roots, you see, the roots, you are finally rooting yourself up in a place in your spiritual home. And you are reaching a place in the world, and maybe other people are helping you to reach this place in your world where you will not feel the urge to leave so fast, and a place where you will not soon get bored and driven to leave again, because it's the great arcana, and it's very final in some way. And you will maybe start or have in the month of November have this, how can I call it, you will have this wonderful feeling when you open to this, your intuition and your gifts and spirituality, that you will not look foolish to the world, Sags. You are maybe born witch, or you might be clairvoyant and so on, and you denying your gifts earlier, or you know that you have a strong intuition, but you're not good at listening to it or taking the next step further. And that's I feel like you have someone around you that will help you. You will be you, sun, moon, and rising in Sags, you will be the person that helps them arrive in this home or spiritual home. And this is the final destination type of thing, you know. When you when you are there, when you have awakened, when you have reached your gifts, oh my God, nobody can stop you. And you should take some chances in you should not be afraid of getting help from other people, because there are many people that will help you. There are many people that will help you succeed and fulfill your emotions, you know. Your tribe is waiting for you. And the cycle has now begun again. It had ended and started again. You know, you are in the final of a cycle. And now, as I said about all these new beginnings, you will reach your final destination, Sags. I promise that. And if it's not, it might happen in November, but it doesn't have to happen in November. Though this is a November reading, it can be now, that it starts now. This thing that will, in the end, be your final destination. That you are starting to wake up now, and you will get there. You know. And then it is your advice for this month. Let me see here. What's What's the next cards there too? Oh, yes. Someone is plotting against you. Someone is keeping you outside, making you feel left out in the cold, Sag. Maybe making you financial. And this might be a spiritual person doing this to you also. You know, if your partner are a witch or your partner is spiritual, you know, there is a warning here about someone. Wow. Okay. Okay, now I feel like this is a time for you where you feel like you have the opportunity to step into the new beginning, and everything lies there before you. But I feel like you, because you are under someone's manipulation, and someone is plotting against you and have done that, and it might have hurt you with words too, said a lot of nasty things to you that get stuck in the head, you know, but they are trying to leave you out in the cold. But I can promise you, and leave you poor. But they are afraid of you awaken. Yeah, they are. They are afraid that you will have this wake-up call and they will not be able to manipulate you anymore. Sags. And this might be someone who have, I'm reading for Sagittarius. It might be even you acting like this. And that's a warning, Sagittarius. About, I feel like you're feeling left out in the cold. And it can be you also. It can always be vice versa, you know. It can be you looking someone out in the cold. But I feel like you feel left out alone. Even though their lights is on in the window and you are not opening the door and go in it, you're choosing to stay outside and feel sorry for yourself. But you don't have to be like that, Sag, because you have people around you that might be, though there is this final, maybe if you are in a relationship where it's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and that goes for the sun, moon, and rising, as I said. Even if you are just someone landing on this reading, it can be that there is a hidden message here for you, that for your cross watchers, there is someone here. I feel like this might be the final. If you have, as I said, going back and forth, ending the relationship, getting together again, ending the relationship, getting together again. I feel like maybe all this back and forth, this wickering, is now going to be the final one. This is the last time. Whether that's the partner finally saying now it's enough because he has a lot of help, maybe from a witch. And for you, Sags, that can be negative, you know. You are feeling like there is a witch or someone spiritual that is getting in the way of your chess game. For those of you that are doing that yourself, but you can also be the victim in this, you know, people doing that to you. And the cards are telling about that this ending is might be final now. This happenings, these problems, this, I feel like it's ending, and maybe you have problem with letting go of the and though you have begun to think in new ways and think clearer and see things through, and see things clearly. Maybe even though you have been doing that, maybe, as I said, you won't listen to your intuition, so you choose to put yourself, because I feel like you are resisting change, that you might be even your own worst energy and enemy, your own worst enemy also, that you need this change, you know. I feel like you have to learn to let go, Sag. You know, if it's not doing you good, you should not having it in your life. If they're not making things better, let it go. And this is actually one of my favorite cards, because, you know, because if you have learned to let go, to not try holding on to what is already, that you know is passing, and it's like beating a dead cat, you know. And is, as I said, if you try not to hold on to what is already passing, you will realize that the painful process of something ending not only can be a great relief, but it can also be the beginning of something new and beautiful, as I said. This is a change that you are resisting. And it's not before you are daring to let it go. I will not undermine that. Of course, it's scary, it's frightening, it's change, you know. We humans don't like change. And especially if we don't know what's on the other side of that change. So we try to hold on even if it's not doing us any good. You must realize that the painful process of something ending, that it not only can be a great relief, but it can also be the beginning of something new and beautiful. And of course, it can also talk about death, but I feel like this is a death of a situation, death of a mindset, death of feelings, you know. It's 99% that. And maybe someone around you has died, but then it will probably be a natural death, you know. It's maybe of age, and it's not a, wow, oh my God, he's dead. Oh my God, she's dead. No, it's a natural death. But I feel, as I said, it's not that for you. Most likely, 99% of you sags, it is the death of a relationship, a mindset, a way of thinking, emotional, a way of living. Though you see as this as you're terrified, but I promise you that this change is necessary. And if you just give in to the painful process of something ending, and remember that it can be a great relief, and not only be a great relief, it can be the beginning of something new and beautiful. And of course, as I said, it can be the end of life, but it's most likely it will be the end of a long cherished but wrong belief, you know, the end of a way or a phase of life or a mindset or a bad relationship, the end of a friendship, and as I said, a relationship, or even the end of an addiction. And I feel like that is starting now. In November, you Sags will have this opportunity that you know that you will probably, maybe even if you don't start in November, there will happen something in November that is the start of you getting rid of addiction. Whether that's a relationship, friendship, way of life, way of thinking, you know? And that's beautiful, you know? Though you are afraid, and I'm not undermining you being scared, Sag. Not at all. I feel your fear. But it will be the best for you. It will, what's wait on the other side of that death will be so much greatness, so much better for you. And the important thing, as I said, is that it is a natural end. There is no way to avoid this change, you know? You can't avoid it, you know, you have to go through it. And since I got the same card here on the cancer reading, I bet you have cancer in your chart, Sag. That you are a sun cancer or moon cancer or a cancer rising. You fear this, but it's for your best. There is no way to avoid it. It will happen, no matter what you do. So you just give in, go with the flow, and see what happens. Yes, Sag, this is a natural end, and there is no way to avoid it. But you could probably try to avoid it, but then you soon will begin to feel numb. You will get numbed if you avoid this, because you know, when you are denying your soul your natural course, and your karma and your life, you know, we are all have purpose here on earth, and our soul is striving to development, you know, to get to achieve and learn new things. And when you are denying your, like Saturn is talking about in astrology, because Saturn is the ruler here, he is talking about, you know, that Saturn is talking about in astrology, where we have our Saturn, that's where we are feeling lost, clumsy, where we deny ourselves pleasure, and where we have our karma. And when we are denying ourselves our karma and our soul to develop to something better and much more bigger than you are not supposed to be at the same place all your life. No one is. And that's the whole meaning of life, is to develop and extend and learn and yes, develop. But of course you can probably try to avoid it, but then you will soon begin to feel numbed. And if you want to be reborn, you have to die first. Did you hear that, Sag? If you want to be reborn, you have to die first. And this is, of course, a painful process, but only those who go through it all the way, you know, that you will be able to begin something that is truly new. And that's the only way, is to let it die, to begin something that is truly new. And your advice here is to let it go, trust in the process and the fortune. You are advised to go through experience that every human being has sooner or later. When there are things that we cannot influence, you are not capable, this end will happen, no matter what you do. And as I said, the experience that every human being has sooner or later, when there are things that we cannot influence, faithful things can happen to us just like that when you let go. Imperatives can force us into onto certain paths in life, certain ways, when you let go and trust the process. And it can force us onto certain paths and lovingly and carefully prepared plans that can be thwarted, that there are so much good waiting here if you just go through this change and let go. And I feel like many of you are quite scared. And I almost want to cry when I say that, but I promise you that if you just let go and let the ending happen, you will be so happy. You will be so thankful that you trusted the process and let it go. If you do that, you will be happy and your needs will be met. And you will feel safe. And suddenly when the wheel turns and we fall very deep sometimes, we never know what life gives us. And that scares the shit out of many of us humans, because the wheel can turn and you can fall very deep, Sag. This card tells you to learn to deal with the insecurities and the necessities to learn to deal with the insecurities, the ups and downs of life that you are going through, your insecurities, in an active and positive way, Yeah, be happy, jump on that wheel. Of course, the wheel will come down sometime, but when you are on top of that wheel, you are happy. You will be happy. Look at those people, so happy, just giving life a chance. And just let go in the life's ups and downs in an active and positive way. If you can see and treat loss, suffering, and blows of faith as sources of learning and understanding and wisdom, then we won't feel as we are in the fate's mercy anymore. Because if you let go, you are feeling that you are in more control. If you're not stopping yourself from the wheel of life, jump on. And see it as a way of learning and understanding new things and gaining wisdom. Because when you do that, you won't feel as if you're in at fate's mercy, anymore. If you are conscious that good times are a gift and that bad times might come soon, We will enjoy and cherish the good times that so much more, you know. If you don't learn to productively deal with that fateful and that coincidental, we could give up, and we can develop fatalistic ideas, you know, and we can live in that constant fear. And that is where you are now. You are in a life change, Sag, but it is for the better. And if you don't fear it, it will get easier on you, because there is so much hope. Look at this. There is so much hope. You know, if you just do what I told you now, this is the result card. New beginning in life. You must step out of this fear of not knowing where things are going all the time. You are not in control. Faith are in control. You are not. Nobody is. You can try to control life, but then it will get difficult, you know. But the end result, if you do what I just told you, you have the fucking star as the end card. There is hope and wisdom you will gain. But it also means confidence, and it stands for a steady and happy course. And the prospects of a healing and peace and becoming whole as a person. The wisdom that this card talks about is the wisdom that you gain through an open, broad view and an outlook of gentleness and compassion. But not just that, it also, that card represents the intuitive knowledge of the heart, you know, that even if we are suffered a lot in our personal history, we came into the being whole and uninjured, and therefore we can become whole once again in life. We are born whole and perfect, and we can reach that state again. You know, that is, sometimes this card reminds us that it's very often the hope of healing that starts the healing process, you know. And in some way, the star card, you know, is to the world the last card in the Great Arcana. It's, in a way, let's say, the star is the promise of what it is the world represents, you know, that has come true. And I feel like many of you will reach that point where, if you don't deny this, that there is more to life than just what is you see, you know. You're denying yourself those gifts, you know. There is, if you are like a atheist that don't believe in anything, that's your downfall, you know. Being spiritual is a gift. It's a comfort, like a warm blanket that just wraps you in soft and warm, you know, and tells you that trust the process. The Spirit has something better for you. And that's your message now in November, Sag. Let go of that bad relationship or partnership or place or state of mind, and let go. I know that you feel locked outside the goods of life right now, that you feel like nobody understands you, nobody wants you in your life, or that person makes you feel that way. and you are letting yourself feel that way. But remember, it's so beautiful. That was quite a long reading, but and remember, if you're having financial problems or worrying about finances or materialistic things, let it go, and maybe you will have that wake-up call this month. It's about time to be a little spiritual, Sag. And now I will have cards, the fairy cards. Three cards for the Sagittarius for the month of November. Thank you. Thank you, fairies. The fairies' blessing. Like that. Three cards for Sagittarius for the month of November. Let's see what the fairies' blessings are for you, Sag. Let's see what they store for you. 3 more times. A blessing of time. A blessing from a fairy determined to help you. That's me. A blessing of a safe place in the world. And the bottom card is the same as Cancer. So I'll bet some of you have strong Cancer in your chart. A sun, moon, or rising in Cancer. And Sagittarius. I bet. So it's this card. It's her. And that is a blessing of time. And it's card number 29. The fairy gift of an expansive time sufficient to do all that is needed, full enough to experience all joy. For fairy beings and for us all, in truth, time moves in cycles and patterns that are inherent in the nature and the cosmos. There is cosmos name mentioned again. When you receive, there are inherent in when you receive the gift of fairy time, you too will slow down and yet be able to do more and easily, for the stress of the human clock hours will fall away. You will smoothly navigate the time available to you and the pressure of what must be done, and by when will be solved by time expanding in amazing ways. For fairies have the gift of time bending and shaping, and they offer it to you, fairy friend. They offer you this ability to be able to sit within the expanded hour, knowing that there is sufficient time for you to do what it is need to be done, so you may focus more on what is most precious for you to do, most worthy of your thoughts and energies. And now, and know that it all will flow. When this fairy blessing comes to you, there will be a flowing quality to the days, a sense that it all is unfolding and that it all is well. You will have opened up more time and in healthy, meaningful ways. You will find the time to care for your own self, to share time with friends, to celebrate and to love. And all that has troubled you and pressured your will come more easily to you. Come more easily to you now. With this gift, when used well, you can complete beloved projects, spend your days doing what you love, and have nights filled with company and love, or peaceful solitude and rest. Let the fairy gift of expansive, supportive, and magical time be yours, friend, and feel the gift uplift you and give you the freedom of hours that belong to you. Blessing of fairy time to you, friend. Beautiful. And it's this. A blessing from a fairy determined to help you. The fairy gift of alliance and care from the realm of enchantment. A blessing from the Fae, for when you feel there may be no one there for you. Oh, Sag. I'm here for you, Sagittarius. A blessing from the Fae, for when you feel there may be no one there for you. She is there. Worried is her beautiful face, as she wonders a wondering of the right way to help you. She is concerned and ready to consult the book of magic, the true book of magic, nature, for ways in which to assist you and care for you. But perhaps the greatest gift from this fairy blessing is the sense that you are cared for by the world beyond humans. Just that sense that you are considered, that the magical word concerned itself with you and is working to assist you in any time of need, can be bring about great changes in your life. Beyond the human, there are allies, and you have one in this learned fairy who is earnestly considering what would be the best to do for you. So send a wish to her and let her know of what it is you desire. And when you do, know that there is a great gift, a golden blessing, which will allow a solution to be found. For the fairies are ingenious and so long-lived that they have seen many things and remember them all. You now have an ally, a fairy friend, and you no longer need to feel alone in this world that is more concerned with rush and hurry than it is in people. For you are loved, dear one. A blessing to you of a fairy ally friend, ally friend. Beautiful. It's a blessing to you from a fairy ally friend. That was touching. And this card, look at that fairy. She's so beautiful. Although there are two in this one. A blessing of a safe place in the world. This is really beautiful and applies to the reading so beautiful. A blessing of a safe place in the world. The fairy gift of a sanctuary, a space in which to feel completely supported and loved. Do you hear? It's a theme here. You are not alone, Sag. You are not alone. The fairy gift of sanctuary and a space in which to feel completely supported and loved. The fairies know what it is to like to find up the safe places in the world. For theirs are under siege and have been for such a long time. The fairies know how to find the little home in the forest or the garden that is growing wild, the roots of old trees and the hollows beneath the sacred hills. In these places, they have grown stronger and stayed safe, and they now transfer to you a part of this gift. You will now find places and spaces within the world where you feel free to be completely yourself, where you too can grow strong and bright again and need have no fear. It's so beautiful and so additional to the reading. Yeah. You will now find places and spaces within the world where you feel free to be completely yourself, where you too can grow strong and bright again and need have no fear. Let there be shelter and a sanctuary for you and your soul, where you can learn what it is you are meant to do next, and where there is no harsh word spoken, only guidance that can help ease us all into the next stages of our lives. Let the safe spaces become our homes and our workplaces, our friendships and our schools. Let the world become a safer space, and let the natural world shelter you with her turnings and showings of the changes about you. Make not a fortress of this space you find, but let it begin to grow in your heart, so that wherever you go, others feel safe with you, and the world changes in small but bright and beautiful ways, all as a result of these blessings of fairies, blessings of a sanctuary and a safe space to you, Sag, friend. On the bottom card was, it was not the bottom card, but I think, but this card was also Cancers. A blessing from Anam Cara. A blessing of Anam Cara, the fairy gift of soul friend who is a boon to your life. This blessing is essential to all of us, for to be without an Anam Cara is, as the fairy goddess Bridget said, to be a body without a head. The Anam Cara is the blessing of a soul friend, a person who is loving and compassionately honest with us, to whom we can share the least of ourselves and be accepted and heard. The Anam Cara could be a friend, a lover, a mentor, a teacher, a therapist, and there is nearly always a spiritual dimension to the interaction or interactions. So, the fairy bless you now with the gift of the Anam Cara, the friend who will now know your yearnings and gently guide you to their fruition. A friend who treats you well, but does not accept the lies you tell yourself. I am that kind of a friend, I must say. And it's very important to me to be that way also. Maybe I'm a fairy, you know. So the fairies bless you now with the gift of the Anam Cara, the friend who will now know your yearnings and gently guide you to their fruition. A friend who treats you well, but do not accept the lies you tell yourself. Lay your burdens down with them, and they will show you a part of yourself you may have forgotten, so you can rise up again and be a part of the world, your spirit flourishing in the richness of all that is about you. It's a friend who blesses you with their insights and gifts, and from whom you can borrow strength. Borrow strength when all of yours is at its lowest ebb. May spirit tend to your visions, or sorry, I jumped a sentence. May you be blessed with a friend of the soul, who will nurture your spirit, tend to your visions, hear you without judgment, advise you without criticism, and rejoice in your golden moments. May the fairy gift of Anamkara be yours, friend, and may your soul feel the balm of true companionship of the soul. It's so beautiful. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't done it already. Bye. Blessed be. Merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again.